Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day. Now, what I got before you is an Alphatech Ultra Bright USB flashlight or a light. Sometimes this type of a light is called a power bank because of the electronic features that it's got. That ruler right there is just set there to show you that the case is the length of this case, and all this stuff comes with except for that purple case there, but it's 7.5 inches long. Closed, that flashlight is about 7 inches long, and I'll show you that feature here in a minute. Okay, right off the bat there, this is an LED flashlight that uses a Cree bulb. There's several configurations of Cree bulbs, but this one is very, very bright, trust me. Okay, I gotta establish something right off the bat. This comes with, this is an ATK Alphatech 18650 battery at 3400 milliamps. That's what they recommend. And this right here, I'm just doing this to show you that you can use other 18650 batteries, but I would stay away from the cheap ones, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Panasonic right here. This is LG. I'm very familiar with these 18650 batteries because I'm a vapor guy. You know, I quit smoking cigarettes. And the vaporizers that I use these kind of batteries. So I'm familiar with them. Okay, let's get on with this because I got some stuff to cover. This guy right here is nothing but a holder for 3 AAA alkaline batteries if you want to power this flashlight that way, okay? But I don't know why you'd want to do that because the doggone things, you know, you have to throw them away when they're discharged. Okay, this is an AC to DC converter. This end plugs into the flashlight right here. This goes into your wall current, if you will. This light will stay green right here all the time, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, but it'll turn red when it's charging, but it turns back to green when the battery that's inside here is charged up. Okay, now let me roll this over here for just a second here. Okay, if you can see these are rubber covers. This is a USB cover. This little guy right here is the cover for if you're gonna charge the battery up using this AC converter. Okay, let me set that aside. Okay, now this is the part here. When I was shopping for an emergency flashlight, I howled and screamed and hollered and laughed and rolled around on the floor because this is supposed to charge up cell phones, which it does. I know, I've tested everything I'm saying. I've tested, trust me. This guy right here goes in here, okay? These two ends here cover all iPhones from your 4 series, 5 series, and 6 series. This guy right here covers my iPhone, which is iPhone 6S Plus, the big guy. And this is for other iPhone products or whatever have you. And this right here covers Android phones, but I couldn't tell you how many. Let me show you that up close in case you folks have, I know a lot of you like the Android or the Linux mobile operating system, but I did not believe that this was going to work, but it did. Last night I was watching this like a hawk, and let me set this case aside. All this stuff comes with, by the way, but this right here is where you plug the USB in that I just showed you. It took 2 hours and 45 minutes for me to charge up, for the battery in here to charge up my iPhone. It took my iPhone from 28% to 90%. In other words, I got a 60% charge off in this battery. So technically speaking, it would take 2 batteries to fully charge my iPhone. But if you got a lesser phone, you're probably going to get a full charge out of one of these 18650 batteries. You're going to have to trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen, because it did work. And I was watching it like a hawk because I didn't trust any of this. Okay, this little port right here is where you put that AC to DC adapter in, okay? Let me set that aside. All right, now the power switch is not on the end cap like a lot of these. Let me put this little rubber button there. This has got kind of a nice little, the rubber covers those ports, USB and power in. In other words, look at this as power out, power in. Okay, here's your activation button. Now, this guy right here, see how I'm pulling it in and out? This narrows and widens your beam. When it's in like this beam is very wide. Last night I was sitting in the dark in my living room and I got a diameter circle of light somewhere between 12 and 14 inches. I mean, excuse me, feet. I mean, it really puts out a big, bright beam. 1600 candle power, or whatever have you. This right here narrowed, you pull her out, it narrows it right on down. Okay, now you gotta double tap this switch to change between 5 modes. You basically got 5 modes: bright, medium, low, what do they call it? Strobe, distress, I guess, and then SOS. Okay, this is bright, and you got to kind of do this kind of fast, double tap, or it'll just revert back to full brightness. But there's bright, there's a little bit dimmer, okay, there's strobe, and there's SOS. Okay, let me do this again on the, okay, there's bright, not so bright. I'm missing one there. Probably hear me clicking on this. You'll get the hang of it. Just realize that you've got a double tap on this in between, okay? And I seen a guy on YouTube that actually, he had a meter, a light meter. And, a lot of these companies, they go, oh, well, this thing puts out 2,000 lumens, 2,000 candle power. It's really not true, but I seen a guy that did a review, and he had some sort of a light meter, and this was actually showing about 1,640 some odd lumens. But I just know one thing. This is a very, very bright flashlight, okay? The battery loads in the bottom here. It screws in like this. And the positive, let me grab up like this. You've got to make sure you get this right. This is the positive end of the battery. It goes in first like this. There's a smaller spring in here, and the end cap's got a big spring. But anyway, the electronics all checked out. Like I say, I got this on Amazon. You're going to pay about 35 bucks for this guy. It's going to cost you about another 12 bucks if you want an extra battery, but you do get one battery that comes with, and which is this guy right here. And that's all there is to it. This is a very bright flashlight. Everything did work on this thing. It's pretty heavy duty, pretty well built, and that's really all I've got to say. I got my money's worth, in other words. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful, fine day.